Hey, good morning, guys. This morning we got a car in. Well, we brought it in 2 days ago, but I'm barely going to start on it. It's a 2013 Buick Verano. On this one, owner car didn't want to start. Went out there and checked it, and unfortunately, her timing chain. I mean, something happened. Either she broke a tensioner, guide, something. Chains are all loose inside, so we're going to tear it apart and find out what went wrong with this one. So we can go ahead and try and see if we can get it repaired. So let me go ahead and get started, guys. Well, guys, this is the Chevy 2.4 Ecotech. Well, guys, first we start by removing the little actuator connectors and your coil. Get those out of the way. Next, we're going to go ahead and get our air box off and try and get our little valve cover off. You know, I want to see what the chain's going to look like in front, so I'm going to go ahead and remove that valve cover real quick. I'm going to do it in time lapse. Well, guys, as you can see here, this little guide at the very top, it's missing the whole, all that little plastic neoprene, little plastic guide material is gone. So this chain was supposed to be a little pushed down. Since there's no plastic here, I mean, basically the chain just gave out. Tensioner is very, very soft, so tensioner gave out too. So on this one, I'm going to go ahead and do the whole kit. I'm gonna go. Well, guys, we got the cover off, and we found out that the slack was real bad on the chain. We found that this upper guide was messed up. You can see where the chain was hitting, and it wore out all the plastic that was here. So this is gone. Now we're gonna go ahead and remove this plug here. It's a 10 millimeter. I'm gonna use, where's it at? There you go. It's a 10 millimeter H10. That'll remove this plug right here, and then the tensioner is back here on the side of the head towards the firewall, and for that one we need a 32 millimeter socket. So let me go ahead and get those two off, guys. I know they tell you to do a specific pattern or follow certain steps first, take certain items off first, and then the other song, like a sequence. Well, on this one, we are going to replace everything. So, I mean, to me, I guess, well, I'm just going to remove things on the top, and then I'll go work off of the bottom, and it shouldn't make a difference. I mean, we are going to remove everything anyway. So let me go ahead and get to it. Well, guys, I kind of got ahead a little bit and removed that belt and that harmonic balancer so I can get that timing cover off. And it did get dark on me, so I am working with a little headlamp. So let me see how good of a video I can get with artificial lighting here, but we come up here on top and I remove the engine mount. Now I'm going to remove that engine mount base so that I can actually get to the top bolt on that timing cover and try and expose as much as I can of that timing chain for you guys. So let me go ahead and get that mount bracket right there. For this one here, guys, I am going to have to lift the engine up, maybe I'm going to say like an inch, inch and a half, so I can get to that lower bolt that's down here. Can't get to it without raising the engine. Can't lower it. Well, guys, here we're gonna get the bottom bolt through the bottom, like I said, with a wrench. I mean, it is a little, it's a very tight spot, but I don't want to raise the engine too much and cause damages elsewhere. So we're gonna go ahead and take our time and patiently take this one off. Now that we got that brace out of the way, let me get that tensioner out of the belt tensioner out of the way so I can go ahead and start unscrewing the timing cover. Well, guys, now that we got all the bolts off of that timing cover, I have to try and persuade it. It's stuck to the engine, so I got to persuade it to loosen it up and make it come off. I already got the kit. I'll show you the kit in a bit. Let me try and get that cover off first. Alright, guys, give me a second. Well, guys, timing cover is off, and I found this timing chain guide, well, a piece of it. This is the issue. This is what caused the problem. This one just shattered. Well, guys, there's another piece. That's where it was supposed to be. All we have is a little bolt. We only got the timing chain kit, so we're not going to do the balance shaft nor water pump. Alright, let me go ahead and get the little parts that are still on there off, and then I'll continue. Well, guys, as I was digging into the timing chain, I found those two pieces of guide, and the culprit is right here. As you can see, the bolt that is hidden away behind that Allen wrench plug actually broke. So it all started here. I'm assuming it started here. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but that's where the bolt goes, and that's the access port that you have to get to it, and you can already tell how much work it cost me just to remove that little broken piece off of there. So let me go ahead and go pick up this bolt at O'Reilly's. I already called. They do have it in stock, so let me go pick it up so I can continue. Anyways, I just wanted to show you this neat little invention that Dorman came up with. You see this little broken bolt on those timing chain guides is nothing new. I mean, it's been happening quite a bit. So these guys went out there and came up with a different design that will take care of this little issue. Remember I told you this bolt is the one that goes behind that plug that's on your timing cover on the head. Well, this bolt here replaces this broken bolt. what they do is instead of screwing in that bolt into the head, this screws into the cover, the outer cover, and this little pilot goes into that guide, and it does away with this little bolt design. New design. I think this is much better. It's going to be harder for this to break off, so neat little deal. Alright, so let's go ahead and continue putting this together, guys. Well guys, before I forget, there's our crank gear, our new timing chain with colored links. Where are they at? There they are. That gold one, that black one, and where's the other one? It's over here. Black, black, and gold. Our new timing chain tensioner arm, our new tensioner guide. That's the one that broke. That's an upper guide, and our timing chain tensioner. That one is deactivated. This little piston moves freely. Once you install it, hit it, you put a screwdriver handle here and you tap it, and it'll disengage, and this will pop out, and you can no longer play with this. It'll pop out and hold the tensioner in place. So it's deactivated right now. That's the way it's supposed to be. Once you install it, you activate the sucker, and you should be ready to go. We got ourselves a Velcro, a new timing chain cover gasket, a new seal, and a new valve cover gasket. So let me start putting this together. Well guys, here we're going to remove both cam sprockets. I already loosened the bolts. 24mm wrench on this side to hold the cam in place while you loosen up these bolts. I already got both on, so well guys, here's the old chain. There's another piece of the tensioner that was broken, stuck between the head, that piece right there. I had shown you two. Third one. So that was giving me a hard time, so I had to unlodge it from where it was to get that chain out of there. So let me go ahead and get ready to install the new ones. Here I'm going to go ahead and set the cams where they're supposed to be. The marks are well guys, I got the bottom crank pulley. That keyway is more or less at 12, and the two cam sprockets are more or less at 12. What we did here, guys, is that's an intake cam sprocket. There's a timing mark right there, and it's on the gold tube. That's the only gold tube on the chain. The other two are black. So the gold goes on the intake, or the top right intake cam sprocket. Then we come to the bottom. And if you can see, is I wrapped that chain, set it on the timing mark, wrapped it around the tensioner, set up the tensioner so that the chain wouldn't back up, and now all I'm going to do is rotate that crank. Well, no, I'm going to lift that chain up, set up that exhaust sprocket, and set the timing mark on it. Here guys, I got the chain on the intake. I'm going to go ahead and set up that exhaust cam sprocket, roll the chain over it, set it up with the timing mark in its proper location, and then bolt it up. Well guys, the timing marks are in place. Both cam sprockets are on, tensioner, and I didn't show you, but I already put the chain guide on. The only part missing is that little bolt over here on top, that new bolt that I bought. So let me go ahead and add that to it. Give me 1 second. This one here.
Well guys, that's a new bolt. Remember, it used to be just a cap.
Well guys, I'm going to go ahead and bolt up that upper guide. This one. I'm going to go ahead and put it in its place and bolt it up. So I can go ahead and get that tensioner on there and release it so the chain can get all tight. Alright, let me get down real quick. Well guys, got the chain in place, got the tensioner in place, got all the guides tightened. So tighten up those cam sprockets. Got that timing mark in place. Pretty much. Got that oiler. Everything is back in place, so all I gotta do now is start putting back all the covers, pulleys, belts, and all that stuff, and call it done, guys. Alright, so let me go ahead and continue. Let's go ahead and get these timing cover bolts and tighten them up. Well guys, it's close to 12 midnight, so I'm going to go ahead and stop. I don't want to continue and start the car and forget to tighten something, so tomorrow I'll go ahead and do it during the day. Hey guys, oh well, I decided to go ahead and try and tackle this one today. Last night I stayed up till 12 p.m. so I mean it was a little too late. I didn't want to finish it, so today let's start fresh on this one. Let's go ahead and get that valve cover gasket on that valve cover and install it on this vehicle so we can get the coils back on it, all the connections, get those two actuators on there, and crank it over. That's what it's going to do. Hopefully everything went on well, and we don't have to go back in and tear it apart again. So let me go ahead and get to it, guys. So what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to remove the old gasket and replace it with this new gasket we got already. So it's a part number VS50778R. It's a gasket set for this timing cover, valve cover gasket. So let me go ahead and get that done. Well guys, on this one we used no silicone, no adhesive, no nothing. It's a dry fit. That rubber molding, that rubber gasket is molded to where it's a little bit thicker, and it'll fit in kind of tight, so it'll stay in place. All right, let me go ahead and flip that around and get that on the car. Well, about third in place, guys, so let's go ahead and get those coils in there. Now that come the two cam phasers, actuators. Gray one goes first towards the outside, towards the radiator. Black one goes towards the firewall. So let me get these on there, guys. 10mm little bolt, and just pop them in and tighten them up. Let's go ahead and get that air filter box on there, so you can go ahead and finish it up and try and see if the sucker's going to start. For the next 20-30 minutes, we'll take it to a little test drive. If it all works out, we'll call the customer, have them come pick their car up, and that'll be it for this one, guys. Alright? Appreciate you guys watching. Like and subscribe.